Welcome
What's
to episode
up?
50
Welcome.
of the
Episode
PBnJ
50.
podcast. Hell
Jordan,
yeah.
are you sure? Are you sure you got that right? Episode 50?
Yeah, episode 50, dude. We're 2 away.
I'm running the
from-
calculations now. Give me an hour. I'll find out if it's really episode 50.
Okay, that's good. By calculations, he means he's going to jerk off furiously and then just come back and say it's episode 50.
Yeah. In the
Yeah, it's
meantime,
episode 50. An hour was way, way bigger of an estimate than what I needed for that, I guess. What were you guys talking about while I was calculating?
Well, two things I'd like to point out. One, Bryce doesn't have his banner on.
I'll put my banner on.
Two.
Can you do it in the middle of the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Two,
You can do whatever you want in the middle of the show.
I have lots of
that's the
squiggly
case.
blues, which means I'm recording. That's good. I hope you guys can hear me.
yeah.
Sorry, Patrick. What are you saying? I can't hear you at all. You're just.
Now that happened earlier, though,
That did happen earlier.
and if
And
I thought it was
you were
me.
getting mad at me. You thought I was like.
I thought you
lying.
were fucking with me. So I thought Bryce was fucking with me. So we turned on the Hangouts, right? And we always kind of like we're always hesitant, is Hangouts working? Right?
Yeah.
Because as awesome as it is, it lets us communicate even though we're in different places. It lets us do the awesomeness that
Broadcast.
is our fucking weird YouTube presence. But for a little while, my computer was all fucked up. I mean, she's purrs like a. Actually, you don't even hear it anymore. It's run so great. But I thought it was me. I was going fucking crazy. It turns out Bryce decided to upgrade his shit, and now his computer's confused and doesn't know it's fucking.
To be fair, my computer's been confused before I upgraded my shit. But I'm glad you brought up my upgrade because I wanted to talk about it a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, but I got a solid state drive in my computer now. 1 terabyte of super speedy read-write speed.
That's
So
pretty fucking
loading
nice.
screens are going to be much shorter, and that makes me happy.
So for the non-nerds, solid state drive.
A solid state drive is
Yeah.
essentially is a hard drive, but rather than having metal plates and like a disk head, it works a lot more like a flash drive, like a little thumb drive. But it's big enough for you to run a computer off of. The read-write speeds on it are amazing because it's not limited by physical components.
Yeah.
And
most people don't even know that in a hard drive there's spinning discs and shit.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's
that's why when you drop your laptop and you start blue screening after, it's because your disk got fucked, bro.
Yeah, fucked.
So
Fucked all the way.
It's-
with solid
essentially,
state drives, if you
got
upgrade your
wrecked.
laptop's hard drive to a solid state drive, you can drop it all you want, and the hard drive won't go. Something else might, because that's still damaged, but it won't fuck with your files.
Now, I got to say you're a little modest in saying that it wasn't that much of an upgrade. I mean, they're pretty expensive, especially a terabyte.
I mean, they are expensive. It was $260.
like I went with a hybrid drive. So like my hard drive is 16 gig solid state, which is all just Windows.
Yeah, that's just the computer, so it boots faster.
And it boots faster, and then most used applications are stored there, and then the rest of it is a normal hard drive. It's still super speedy and loading
The
screens
Seagate
are-
one, or
It's a
it-
Fire CUDA.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah, no, they're fast. I thought about doing a hybrid, but with the VR games have strangely long load times because they build this entire world with interactive shit in it, and it all renders at once.
Yeah.
So it can be painful waiting. With the solid state drive, I've already cut off like
I can
20
imagine how annoying it is while you're sitting there trying to fap to your fucking VR porn and you turn around to look at it and it's not loaded yet. And you're like, fuck. I bet that really ruins the immersion of VR fapping.
I can't say I would know, but from what I've heard, videos they don't have load times really, so that part's fine. And for the few there's a few porn games out for VR because porn is what really pushes technology. It's insane how much porn affects our technology.
No, it is though. I mean, we've talked about it a lot before.
Yeah,
actually.
we have.
Like
Not
porn
because it's
funding?
interesting, but because we like porn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That goes without saying. Come on.
no,
Why-
but
why
really
did you
though,
even say it?
sex robots push the robotics industry.
And the AI, like the reason why they want realistic AI so much isn't for like, helping people with autism learn how to communicate better with like, robots or anything like that. No, they want a realistic sex bot that will moan at you at the right times. Like that's why they're going hard for AI. It's
And
absolutely
I'm
insane.
not opposed to that.
And they're gonna dump the money into it, So VR though is going. I mean, like, okay, let's be honest, guys, right? Let's say you had fucking Star Trek level,
The holodeck.
holodeck, right? So now VR is like the poor man's holodeck, essentially. Like you put that on and you're in the game, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if I had a holodeck, I mean, holodeck porn. Hello.
I mean, you would just have an orgy room at that point with a one-man orgy room.
Yeah, but then occasionally,
How's that work though? Can you actually touch it?
Yeah,
holodeck, everything has physicality. Yeah.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, but nothing can kill you, but you can kill things.
Yeah, it's pretty silly unless they go rogue, which is this plot line of like 2 or 3 holodeck episodes. Is something went rogue and suddenly everyone's life is in danger or something.
Yeah, like it gains sentience, and then it knows it's on a starship. So then they're like, "Go ahead, walk out the door." And then the one I think one of the villains was who was fucking Sherlock Holmes' villain. Moriarty, dude, in Star Trek. Yep. Fucking Moriarty knows he's a villain because he's super genius and knows he's a holodeck and tries to essentially they let him murder himself.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. So I'm excited just because I don't have as much long load time, so I'm gonna be doing a lot more VR gaming. I'm actually thinking there's this one game in particular called Arizona Sunshine, and it's like a zombie game.
Yeah.
But it's not like a boring zombie game, which is amazing because a lot of games nowadays, when they do the whole zombie motif, it's just the same old reused bullshit. It's either a Left 4 Dead clone or it's a Resident Evil clone, or it's zombie games. Just like zombie movies have been very, very like oversaturated. But this one, yeah, also the Call of Duty zombie mode, that's like 90% of zombie games that are made now. It's just like a version of the zombie mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I do like about Arizona Sunshine is the voice acting in it is actually fantastic. And like your character talks, and like he talks to himself a lot because he's been out on his own for a long time just trying to survive and shit. And you find a radio that's basically people saying, "Hey, we're survivors, we're here. Anyone in the area come here," kind of deal, but it's all broken up. So he's fucking hype as shit. He's like, "There's humans." Oh my god, yes, queen.
Real quick, guys. May I ask for us to take a quick technical break and then come right back?
Yeah. In the middle of my story, sure.
We'll be right back in the middle of Bryce's story.
You fucking bitch.
What's going on?
Hi video that's watching everything we're doing. Apparently when I started recording in Audacity, let me save this before I change the input. It's auto switched to my webcam microphone.
So we're gonna have a short period of time of you having shit audio, and then
yeah. Well, as soon as I noticed it, because I muted this to cough, and I was like, "What?"
Awesome.
Yeah, hold on. Let me save this. Just in case I fucking switch the audio input and it's like, fuck you!
Gone forever.
I mean, it could be worse. I could have not noticed at all.
That's true. No, I respect that you noticed. I just thought it was hilarious.
I
was just like, you motherfucker, you stopped me in the middle of my story.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Let me just make sure this is doing a thing.
I just kind of want to kill you.
Kind of.
All right.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. RESPECT.
All right. So I am pretty sure I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. I'm going to start recording again.
I'm going to finger bang. You ready?
Nope.
Let's do it.
Tell me when you're ready. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
We're
sorry
back,
guys.
though.
Sorry.
So, anyways, back
Arizona
to
Sunshine.
Arizona Sunshine. What I love so much about it is the way he talks. For one, he calls all the zombies Freds. He just named them all,
Freds?
he named all of them Fred. He'd be
Okay.
like, "Hey, Fred, what's going on? How you doing?" And like shit like that as he
Now-
fucking murders them.
Is he the only person like in like that's there?
Yeah, you are him, and you're just going around trying to make it to this supposed safe zone, and there's like a
Okay.
bunch of stuff with it, and just like his disappointment at times, his excitement at times when he gets a new weapon and he's super hype about it. Plus, the way they handled like the combat, like it feels so good to shoot them in the head. Like it's
Really?
so good, and so it's a lot of fun. It's not too spooky. There's one particular sequence where you're in some mines that's pretty spoopy, but that's because it's like dark as shit, and you
Yeah.
actually have to use one of your hand slots because you can hold a weapon in each hand akimbo style.
Nice.
But you have to use one for the flashlight, and you don't realize how bad you are at pointing a flashlight until you try and do it in that game and shoot something, and they're like, Jesus, how do people in movies do this?
Don't you just have you tried to hold them together?
No, that's what I did. That's what I
Yeah.
did 100%. I did the stereotypical I'm a combat guy, flashlight,
Combat
I'm the
flashlight
FBI.
man.
Yeah. And so it was really good. And I liked it a lot. And I'm thinking about doing some speed runs, and the fact that my load times will be shorter will
Will
make speed
help
runs more
your speed
bearable.
run. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even thought about like guys that are doing certain types of games and doing speed runs, having super fast RAM and having a super fast hard drive and shit probably helps, huh?
Well, it's one of those things where any game that can be affected by that, they have different categories for, or they'll change how the time is done. So rather than it being the time in my recording, it'll go by in-game time if there's an in-game timer or something similar. I don't know how it works for Arizona Sunshine. If you just having the better rig makes it to where you can run faster because you don't have as much load times. But there are situations to where they'll break down a category to where the PlayStation version of a specific game, because that version can't be affected by anything, and then the PC version will be its own separate category because it has all those different things you can do. And they'll like ban certain things, like if you have a modded PlayStation that increases the disk speed or something, then that's banned. You can't use that.
Interesting.
They're pretty careful about
Also,
it.
what kind of fucking Nerdosaurus Rex fucking modifies their PlayStation for faster disk speed?
They're actually console mods were really big for a long time, and they still are, but just not as big
PS3
because emulation is such a easy thing to do now that modding a console it's not worth the cost and effort when you can just go in the settings of an emulator and like.
I know
Last
about
generation
console
was really
modding,
big.
and I know about homebrew, right?
Right.
And I had a couple of buddies that bought, and actually there was a guy in the flea market in Sanford when there was a Sanford flea market. Rest in peace, Sanford
Rest
flea
in
market.
peace. I love that
Rest
one.
in peace.
I
wish
do
that
miss
existed,
that.
'cause I would visit it all the time. That'd be a
You-
cool weekend
You'd
thing.
fucking love. You never. Oh, you probably did never go there.
Yeah, I didn't. I
Sad
didn't live here when I was
panda.
here.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that.
There was
Oh,
a guy.
there was a
probably
guy,
modding stuff.
and so he would sell pre-modded stuff with homebrews already on it, and he would sell modded hardware and shit. But what the fuck? Why? So do you want your disk to spin faster for faster load times?
Yeah, the faster disk speed is specifically to shorten load times. So like,
I guess
it'll
in
read
my
it
head,
faster if it's upgraded.
in my head, I'm thinking new consoles like we have, like my PS4. I could probably put a solid state in my PS4.
Yeah, that speeds up load times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
absolutely.
definitely. There's people who put solid states in them all the time. That's a really common thing to do for the PlayStation, just because some of the games, the load times are stupid long.
Dude, I've been playing a lot
Hello,
of
Last of Us.
well, yeah, but I've been
Yeah.
also playing a lot of Try Not
Dangerous?
to Die While Landing, and
Yeah, really dangerous.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Hey, Stop Shooting Me for No Reason.
All right, I need to
Oh,
stop
no, wait.
for a second because I need to tell everyone
were
why
like-
I'm
very
mad.
accurate.
Jordan, this is Jordan's favorite name of the game. Why
Uh-huh.
the fuck do I keep being in front of a star? I hate
Oh my
stars.
God.
I
You
didn't
basic
understand
bitch.
jumping, you motherfucker. Okay, I get it now.
All right, so I'm just gonna take a second to tell everyone that I'm mad at you,
Why?
you guys, because I have been playing Elite Dangerous forever, having a great time with it. Love it. So much fun. And then you guys are like, oh, we want to play Elite Dangerous. I'm like, hell yeah. We'll have a wing. Everything's cool. These motherfuckers buy it on the PlayStation. I have to rebuy the game and start from the beginning in order to play with them.
Like you're gonna hate it. You know you love.
I'm
the
gonna hate
game.
shelling out that money I already spent.
You're gonna enjoy.
I'll have fun playing with you.
It's actually super cheap on sale right now. The
Really?
basic game.
How much
on
is it on sale?
PS4?
How cheap?
You should look. I
Okay.
don't remember. I just
Alright,
know it's
I'll
on
find
sale.
Find out. This bitch. I'll find out for you.
Thank
I
you.
know that.
So
I
if
know
any of
that
you
the
guys get Elite
game-
Dangerous and you want to join our flight crew, hit us up.
Yeah. So anybody, yeah, for real.
It's $15, Bryce. $14.99.
There you go, motherfucker.
I'll throw the fucking $14.99 at it, but you bitches suck.
Oh, it's even less if you have PlayStation Plus. It's 10% less.
Oh, so it's 14
So hold on.
or $13.50.
I would just like to.
$13.50,
I would just like to point out that I bought this game, and I bought Fighter Z because it was my birthday. I'm like, I'm gonna buy me some video games. I'm gonna be cool, right?
Yeah.
And literally 2 or 3 days later,
Sale
fucking sale. I was like,
on
you
both of them.
piece of shit. No. But everybody's busted
I
on
was-
me for
I
not
was hit
buying
on
the
the
full
same thing
version of
though.
Fighter
To
Z.
be honest with you, for at least for Elite Dangerous, I didn't buy Dragon Ball, but
That game is pretty cool. Talk about fast paced. Like, so did I talk about me and Shayna playing? How she kind of semi kicked my ass a couple times?
No,
I'm not surprised.
no. You
No.
were telling me that she tried, I think Elite, but she couldn't figure out shooting.
No. She won't even touch Elite.
Okay.
She couldn't. She's
So it
tried
was
to.
Fighter Z. Okay.
So I'm sitting there playing the game and I'm just button mashing the fuck out of it. Essentially
Yeah.
slamming my forehead into the controller.
The faster I
And-
button mash, the better I get.
Yeah. No. So it's a fighting game, right? And it's Dragon Ball Z. And if you know Dragon Ball Z, they're like all the time, right? Super fast.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So the game plays that way.
Yes.
And it's intense. So,
It's a very
we
technical
played,
fighter.
and honestly, my wife just about kicked my ass at least 3 good times. I was Krillin, though.
First mistake.
Bald friends flock
You
together.
would though because you
Well,
was just like
You know what's funny? Okay, so the game itself has like this like lobby area, right? And it's
Mhm.
like a local, and like you pick a little avatar.
Yeah.
So everyone in there's like Vegeta, Goku,
Of course.
Vegeta, Goku. I'm Tien.
You're you just are intentionally picking the worst characters.
why are you doing that?
Because
You
it's
know
funny.
what? Fuck, I'm gonna
Because
buy
he's
the game.
because he's a bald white guy. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna
You're
be
so
Yamcha.
basic.
Fuck it.
There's only one choice for me if I join in on that game, and that's
What's-
Piccolo.
Piccolo-
The
he's
stone
pretty-
cold killer.
So Piccolo's pretty
The-
OP in this game. One question I have about Piccolo,
Yeah.
right? Does his dick grow back if he gets it cut off, and can he stretch it? Just
Yes,
curious.
yes to
Yeah,
both.
in
Yes to
theory,
both.
yeah.
According
okay.
to Rule 34, yes to both.
What is Rule 34?
There are several rules of the internet that exist, and one of the rules of the internet is rule number 34 is if
Piccolo
it
has
exists-
stretchy junk.
if it exists in the universe, there's a porn of it. That's Rule 34. So
Okay.
airplanes, there are artwork of planes fucking each other. That's
true.
that's how
What?
that's
People-
how big Rule 34 is. There's people to car interactions. There are
Yeah, but that happens in real
I've
life.
seen that
though.
on My Strange Addiction.
Yeah.
Fucking
well,
TLC.
yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that there's full blown porn of everything that exists in the universe. Like there is porn that exists of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, or of Jesus and his dad, or like God and Jesus, or just nothing is sacred. There's porn of absolutely everything. There's rocks fucking each other,
Mm-hmm.
like
With little
inanimate
rock
objects growing
That's
dicks
weird.
and just smashing. So that's Rule 34, and there's a bunch of rules on the internet.
What's
Let
that
me
guy's
find-
name from the Frieza saga? He's Vegeta's bald sidekick. He's
I don't know.
oh God,
Starts with an N,
Is
I
it
believe.
Patrick?
Na-
His name's Patrick.
Namek? No,
No, that's the planet.
that's the planet. I can't remember his name right now, but
Oh
he's
my God.
hilarious.
It's gonna bother me, and I feel like that would be you.
So which one of you guys
that would be
is
good for
one-upping
Patrick,
in the
yeah.
background right now? Or getting a coin?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying.
It's probably Bryce,
Plead the fifth.
but more than likely Jordan.
No, that's my
It's not me.
notification sound. I'm not
Oh.
playing something. I'm just a man of class.
Wait, oh yeah. I hope that makes it into the audio, but
Oh, I can guarantee you did. My mic's badass.
it
Napa.
is.
That's his name.
Napa, that's right.
Yeah.
That is his name.
Oh, Napa Valley wine vineyards.
Yeah, you be Napa. Ooh, I want to be Raditz.
Oh, there we go.
So you guys should get that game. It'd be
Get
awesome.
that Australian accent going.
I could do
Can
that.
you do an Australian accent?
Let's hear it, Jordan.
I don't know if I've ever tried. Hang on.
Think of the most stereotypical Australian accent you
Listen, start in your head. Start with an English accent.
Good night, mate.
You got to be like, hey, I want to go and have some shrimp on the barbie and go to
Outback Steakhouse.
That wasn't too bad, but you're both incredibly racist. I love you though. Yeah, no, you can refine it and you can get to Raditz levels maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually
Bryce won't do it.
Oh, the Australian accent?
Yeah.
You want me to be Australian, eh? Oh, I got Vegemite all stuck in me pain.
Which one of us is racist now, motherfucker?
Not me. I'm not talking about fucking Outback Steakhouse, you fucking racist.
You went right for like their disgusting national food.
I went straight for the food that they eat, which is not monopolized by a capitalist system. I went straight for their cultural. This is legit. This is what we eat. Fuck with it.
Wallaby.
I'm convinced.
My baby.
No matter what, there's always people from a place that are like, we don't eat that for real. Or, you know, people that, oh yeah, we love that. We always eat that here. You know what I mean? Like it's
part of it is there's always the expectation from like the internet and stuff about it is that everyone's having it every day, every second of every day. Like down here in Florida, people think we ride alligators and like eat their tails all the time and shit. Like they think
I have had gator tail and it's good. And if I could ride an alligator without dying, I would.
Every day.
Right, but it's one of those things where gator tail is something you've had a few times in your life, and you've lived down here a long time. It's not something that is like a staple to where we just go and we're like, oh, this restaurant doesn't have gator tail. This isn't a Florida restaurant. Get the fuck out of our state.
You guys eat in Florida? Like what the fuck?
Even Florida? Like I demand turtle and gator tail fried up in the same platter so I can munch on both.
In fact, I want it stuffed inside of a duck.
The gator ducking?
The gator ducking.
And what's funny about that is the turtle.
Sounds like nobody get offended.
No. What I love about what we just created there is we would have to add a chicken into it, but for it to be the turducken. But a turducken, for those of you who don't know, is a chicken. Specifically a smaller chicken, like a Cornish hen.
Cornish hen.
Stuffed inside of a duck, which is then stuffed inside of a turkey. The gay turducken is gator stuffed inside a duck, and also turtle stuffed inside a duck.
How about?
And I guess a chicken shoved in there too, because I made it a turducken.
Why not?
It's a gay turducken.
We'll put in some Cajun, Cajun like chicken wings in there. Fuck it.
And we'll add, and you don't, and I gotta say though that if anybody ever does come to Florida, they have to try our delicacy known as the pub sub. So we'll go ahead and stuff a pub sub in there too.
You know what? I can respect that. The buffalo chicken tender public sub.
In fact, the chicken part of the turducken, of the gay turducken,
is the pub sub.
Oh my god! Yes,
well done.
We just made the national food for Florida. Come on down and have the gator ducking.
And you know what?
Tomorrow, warm up with the racetrack corn.
It doesn't fucking help that, and we called it, so we know it's there for real. Is that when people come to Florida, they want to go to things like Gatorland, right?
The Gatorland.
So they fucking call Gatorland to get the fucking.
Well, I don't know Spanish, but come on down to Gatorland.
Hey there, little buddy. Like that's what they think. And then they come down here and then they meet us and they're like, oh, well, you're not like that, but you're definitely fucking weird.
You're not like weird Swamp Texas.
Swamp Texas.
We were expecting Swamp Texas. And we're like, Swamp Texas is over there in St. Cloud and like Titusville. That's where you'll find Swamp Texas.
We need to write a letter to Rick
Jordan
Scott.
lives in Swamp Texas.
Hey, fuck you.
No,
It's swamp Puerto Rico, bitch.
it's swamp Puerto Rico. Like,
where
get it
where do
right,
I
get
live?
it tight. You
Swamp
live-
Puerto Rico also for some reason.
Fucking Del Rocco. That's where you fucking.
Oh
you live
Jesus!
in Rio del Grande.
Listen, in my neighborhood, we have the finest of mostly dead palm trees. Okay.
Okay.
Come
I don't
flying
know.
down on top of your house, and then the city says, "I'm not going to pay for it."
So actually, speaking of,
Mhm.
I need to call the fucking city again this year and tell them
Yeah.
to come cut some of these fucking trees down.
Cut these fucking trees, dude.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that we're gonna get hit with a hurricane again.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we
Probably
are.
within the
Like,
next few months.
I'm imagining just like Disney is just like we can only protect so much, and we're only going to protect ourselves. But something about their ray, I think, once it gets used, it attracts the other hurricanes because we had that one year where 3 of them hit Central Florida in the same year, which never happened before. Fucked everything up, and I imagine that being because of the Disney ray. So I think because it had to be used for
Well,
the last major hurricane, we're going to get fucked.
if it fails again,
Mhm.
Disney will put their shields up. So
Yeah,
Disney will be
Disney's gonna be fine, but the people around Disney,
I think I'm close enough to be all right.
no.
you know what?
I'm-
If I get a Disney pass, though, can we all agree that for the hurricane preparedness, we're gonna go to Disney so that way we can see if they'll take us down into the city when the hurricane hits, the little underground area?
Hell
That'd
yeah.
be so funny. Except for they'd definitely be closed, or
Nah,
all of a sudden, because listen, they're gonna be like, you know what, guys, we decided, please fuck off, leave the park.
we're gonna shut down. But I can't imagine them shutting down before like 12 hours before the hurricane's gonna hit.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that
they're
that
gonna be
didn't happen
open.
for Irma. They decided to shut down literally like the day of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ermagerd, you know.
My god.
Guys, actually, I think that we can take a quick break, and I think that Bryce wants to do a thing after in the second half.
Yeah, I wanna talk about
A beloved.
a form of Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Ah, form of Vin Diesel.
Shape of Iron Giant.
Shape of couch.
Yeah.
And real quick, I guess before we just go to break, maybe to fill in the gap, I didn't want to talk about it right then because Bryce wanted to finish his story. Sorry about the weird stop
And the weird audio beforehand.
And for the beginning audio there, it's going to be a little crappy. As we were making fun of Bryce's computer for not knowing what it fucking wants to do, my computer chose to, instead of use fancy microphone that's in front of my face hole, it used my webcam microphone that is like 4 feet away from me. So
if he sounds far
good job.
away, he was. You're
yeah, if I sound far away, I'm like,
Mystery solved.
you're dumb. All right, let's
All right, let's take a break. Let's take a
let's
break.
take a quick
Well,
break.
BRB.
Recording.
Stop. All right. And if you're here watching the video, you are watching the video. I know my wife watches the video. She prefers it for some reason, something about looking at my handsome face.
She just wants to check and see if my bed's made. That's all she
That's
wants. That's legitimately all she wants. She's just like,
Probably.
is the bed made? And then when she sees it, she's like, oh, thank God it's made. Yay.
But
Now
not
it's always
really,
made.
and there's a cat in it.
Hey, my bed's made. It's
Not
covered
really.
up completely.
That's
That would not count as made.
That's not count.
That would not count as made as in like fancy made. What I mean by bed made is, do I have bedding on my bed?
Is
That's
there
made.
sheets?
In that
pillow,
case,
and
if
a
that's the
blanket?
case, hold on. If bed made means having bedding on your bed, then your bed has been made in every video.
No, actually, there was like a good 20 video streak where y'all had happened to catch me whenever I was washing my shit.
Oh, where it was just your mattress.
Where it was just my mattress in the background and I looked like I
Well-
lived in a shack in the middle of nowhere on a dirty Masters. You know.
Everybody fucking
do.
knows that you do.
Yeah, I live in a shack in the middle of nowhere.
Worst
You're
kept
welcome.
secret.
Worst kept secret. I live in a shack in the middle of nowhere and I'm also secret rich. Those are the two secrets.
Yep.
They seem like they would not coincide, It's both the truth.
Well, I mean, it does. If I was secret rich, I would 100% live in the middle of the woods in what looks like a shack. And then you go in the shack and it's like an MIB elevator,
Yes.
into my underground fucking lair. And
I
it's
really
going to
wanna
be
buy a
like in
bomb
the Resident
shelter.
Evil movie where like it looks like you're outside or like it looks like office windows and stuff when you look through them. Yeah. And then zombies.
Have we talked about Steve yet? The internet
Who's
network
this?
that
Oh.
our boy Elon Musk is making. He's making a better satellite internet that'll give
It's called
high speed.
Steve.
The network's going to be called Mr. Steve. I want to write a short story about a Skynet type situation, but it's Mr. Steve is Skynet, like his network. And so the Skynet's been infected by memes. And basically the story idea is that Mr. Steve has just seen all these memes about people wanting to die. Because we millennials, we love to joke about just wanting to fucking end us.
As a millennial, I don't like to be called a millennial.
I don't like labels. Go fuck yourself.
I think I'm a millennial.
But yeah, so it's one of those situations where because of that, he wants to kill us. So how we're fighting off the internet, like the apocalypse, is by posting up memes about humanity actually wanting to live and everything's cool. Because Mr. Steve just wants to give us what we want. So he's like, let's kill the humans because that's what they asked for. Now we're like, everything's fine. We want to live. And like them just trying to bombard him with memes and see if they can get the algorithm to read that instead. And that's the fight, is how to make the best memes to protect themselves. That's the short story I do.
Interesting. You should write that.
Now that I've said it, I have to before somebody else does. Now that it's on the interwebs.
Get to writing.
Okay.
Luna will record the rest of the show for you.
There was a problem with your last action. I accidentally started a recording.
Good job.
So you'll have to edit that out.
You motherfucker.
Well, what do you want from me, dude? It started. I didn't realize.
What do you want, dude?
Good, bro.
All right, cool.
I gotta restart Logic real quick.
So maybe we can talk about that. I don't know. Maybe that could be part of your tech stuff, Jordy.
Actually, do we want to? We should come back with Jordan's tech stuff.
Okay.
Hey, y'all.
I think we come back with Jordan's tech stuff, and it can even be, me and Bryce wouldn't shut up. And you were trying to talk about it earlier.
No, I forgot about it.
Look at these nuts.
I'd really rather not.
Too late. Ah,
I'm looking at my pussy instead.
Hey, I don't have any nuts. I do have this washer.
Kill yourself.
Giggity.
All right.
Kill yourself.
I think we're ready to come back. I just wanted to. The reason I initiated break was we were rambling, and I realized it.
Prove it.
It's all good.
Just rewind.
Well, I
can't because I recorded a weird ass fucking recording over it. So
it didn't go over it. It just went next to it. So,
all right.
Don't even worry about it.
I was about to start recording.
All right, I'm starting recording now. I got my finger bangs up. Y'all ready for the finger bangs?
Ready.
I am ready for the finger bangs.
3,
2, 1, go.
Alrighty, welcome back. Pardon that little break there. Did you guys see that email? I don't know if you guys are on the email list for HTC, but they're coming out with a new VR headset.
Hold on. Not too many people are on the email list for HTC because while HTC, and yes, welcome back from break, while HTC makes some cool stuff, they've kind of fallen from
grace.
From grace, right? I mean, let's be honest. HTC used to make some of the sexiest hardware, and now people are like, high tech who?
Yeah, HTC was the phone. Like back when the HTC 4G came out, bruh, that was the fucking phone to get. Like people were like,
I mean, honestly, until like
you're so cool if you have one.
I know, right? It was
Until
like
like
it was like when the
2013,
Razor came out back in the Gap.
What, Jordan?
Until like 2012, 2013, HTC was the phone to get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
The
why
early
would I be
days.
on their mailing list, you fucking
Because I
weirdo?
still fucking love them. Okay, I have faith. They'll come back.
So are they coming out with a phone?
No, it's a new updated version of their VR
Of the
headset,
Vive.
the HTC Vive, called
Oh,
the
okay.
HTC Vive Pro. Comes out April 5th,
I'm
and
really
What are
curious
you, a
to see how
commercial?
much they improved.
it is $800, which is
Yeah.
insane.
But the good news is the original HTC Vive is dropping down to 500, whereas before it was like 7. So it's
Right.
one of those things where, or it might be like 4 something. So it's become a lot more affordable because of it. So people trying to break into VR, get yourself an HTC Vive.
Yeah, because that shit is spectacular,
Now,
man.
if I had a Vive,
Mhm.
could I play with you, even though you
Yeah.
have an Oculus?
Yes.
Yeah. Oculus, one of the benefits of Oculus is they have like a game exclusive store, but the HTC Vive is all on Steam, and there's a lot of games that they both have. There's just certain games that only Oculus has. Whereas
Ah,
there's no games I can think of that only Steam has.
I just want to play Elite Dangerous in VR so I can get kind of scared every time I look up and there's,
You can. I haven't tried it yet, and I regret not trying it yet. I just haven't had the time. But once I start getting back into space trucking, I'm gonna be doing it all right there in my face. The only thing I don't like is they don't have the motion controls. It's all the thumbsticks, which I mean,
yeah,
it makes sense why they did that. But I want to be able to like have my hands in game move and like grab the throttle and pull it back to move up, or
that'd be cool. Yeah,
you know, like I can, or at the
that would
very least
probably
have
make
like
it though.
more interactivity to where
I
like
don't
maybe
know, man. Okay, sure, maybe like where you reach for stuff, but
yeah.
I can barely fucking fly in a straight line by using the joysticks. I don't need to actually be in control of it.
I would love to see you trying to land
I
with
turn
a VR with the control like that
I
with the
turned
touch control.
flight assist on extra. Is that a thing?
You can
Um,
you can add more power to your subsystems to make flight assist better. Um,
I don't really.
Actually,
But
the flight computers used to be terrible. It used to be to where if you didn't have your stuff set up with a certain power grid, it had a chance of smashing you in a wall and killing you anyway. So flight
That
computers used to be
sucks.
awful. They fixed that though, but it's one of those things where I still find it funny.
I'd have uninstalled that game if
that's
that
Probably
happened to
would
me.
have.
hilarious.
I'd be like, nah, fuck this game.
I almost did that when I ran into the wall. So anyway, so Vive, is it worth it though? I mean, $800, man. That's
$800. I
my
don't know if
wife
it's
would 100% kick me in the balls if I spent $800.
me too. And shoot, my wife would kick me in the balls with divorce papers on the end of her fucking shoe.
And sign them with your blood, your scrotal blood.
Yep.
You're screwed, Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, $800 worth, I don't know. I don't own a Vive, so I can't say whether it's worth it. I've tried Vive before, and it's
Mhm.
magnificent. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
But
Vive is a lot of fun.
it, from the original headset, not a major update, but it's got some pretty good fucking upgrades to it.
I'm more curious about the controllers to see if they have like something new with like tracking to where maybe you can add extra like maybe they'll have or not shoulder pads, like knee pads and elbow pads so that way you can like have better tracking for the full body.
That would be cool.
Well, yeah, that would be super cool, but it's
Except for,
as
do
far
you want it
as
to get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm gonna go and play my video game. Let me put my suit on, and you have to like put on a suit with like dot trackers on it and shit. Or would you like that?
I personally would be interested in
I wouldn't
something like
mind.
that.
Yeah,
Just because it's really cool when you're in a game and you have one for one motion. Like just the hands right now, seeing those move around how I want them to
yeah,
is so trippy.
it's sick.
Like it still amazes me and I've been playing for months. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It
And
really
when
is.
I see the people who have full motion tracking, there's a couple different ways you can do it. There are certain sensors you can buy, but you can also like hack an Xbox Connect and repurpose it for motion tracking and then make it to where it could be a full body tracker for the games. And there was somebody who had full body tracking, and at one of the clubs in VR chat, they were dancing on a pole with full VR tracking. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
you got all that just so you could be a hoe. I love it.
That
That's
is
better.
fucking hilarious.
Goes back
The
to-
sad part is probably some fat dude And
I mean, there's a
Don't kill
decent
it.
number of female players in VR chat. It's pretty funny.
And well, that is not as weird as like I've heard of
Mhm.
games where people have like texting sex parties, right? Those people are just weird.
You
Those people are very
motherfucker.
What do you mean, you motherfucker? Are you
Yeah,
outing
no.
Yeah, what are you
yourself?
talking about, Jordan?
No, I know what that. Shut up. I'm not talking about that here.
What are you saying? What?
You're not gonna talk about the okay. All right.
Anyway, that's weird.
I didn't partake. Let me just clarify. I did not partake. I was reading. Okay.
Yeah. I did not
Nobody-
partake. I was just the voyeur in the
Nobody
room.
said anything about you,
I
Jordan.
was
What are you
just
talking
peeking in the
about?
corner. I
You
was
should have just
peeking
let
in
the jab slide.
Yeah,
you could have just
yeah.
let it be a weird thing.
I can't do that. I can't do that because Patrick's a motherfucker and he would never let me live it down. So I can't.
I wasn't gonna say it was you in your weird orgy chat. Oh Jesus.
You
Anyway,
This show is taking a
So,
weird turn.
Anyway, as
It
far
has.
as
We get to
as far
episode
as-
50, we start talking about orgy chats.
Why not? Honestly,
Fuck it.
I mean, so orgy chats.
So I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, right, and this is just my opinion about general VR, right?
Right.
Even now owning, as I've talked about it. Now I have my new nifty graphics card. Even owning a graphics card where or even my PS4, either option, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sold. I'm just not. I mean,
Because
it's
you haven't tried it.
no. I've done VR. Real VR. Cell phone VR. Fucking.
it's not
I've
the same.
slept.
It's not the same.
I've slept. That's VR.
I'm gonna murder this guy, Bryce.
But
You
no, but
close-
seriously, you don't understand. It's $350 to buy in at the cheapest level.
No, it's not.
For
What do you mean it's
What do you
not?
mean it's not?
It's $200 for a PlayStation VR right now.
No, I guess.
Okay. It's still the price of my console. And that's my problem with it. Is it's still an add-on to my existing system.
And it
And-
doesn't give
but
you
it's cool as
enough.
shit,
And
though.
it doesn't give me enough in the PlayStation world.
I think
and
once
in the
you
PC
play-
world, it's $500.
Yeah, that's true. But it's still in its infancy, kind of. For
Sure.
you
Gen
know.
3, I'll probably jump in with Gen 2 tech.
if it makes it
Stupid.
that far, we'll have to see. Because one of the things about VR that's kind of hurting it a little bit, as far as like turning over new players, is there's a lot of like the AAA, the big blockbuster companies. They don't want to take a risk on making a really good game for VR because it's
Everything they're
it's
doing
such a
is
small
all
marketplace.
half-assed.
Yeah, and well, it has to be kind of cheap or cheesy or cheap in
A lot of
money.
it's novelty stuff. It's like arcade style, like a lot of it's like rail shooters or
Although I can't,
things like that.
I can't hate because on PlayStation that fucking what is it called?
Is it the fishing
VR
game?
sports bar. That shit is fun.
But though
And you have pool and darts and shit.
Yeah.
there are
That's a lot of fun.
games, Elite Dangerous being one of them, Star Citizen, probably No Man's Sky, games that are like, I mean, granted, those are big space sims, but where they're big games that people are playing and you put a VR headset on and it's going to extremely enhance the.
Yeah,
the-
like they've actually
Yeah.
they just came out with Skyrim for the Steam VR for
But okay, for Steam VR, Skyrim, that's a fucking amazing.
because at that point you have the sword and shield in hand, you're fighting in hand-to-hand combat.
Exactly.
You can dual cast, but in separate directions. It's
that's
gonna
really
be
cool.
cool.
But that the $300 to $500 price tag, or even $200 for the PlayStation version, it doesn't sell me. I would
go-
need. And honestly, a lot of the games I play, so like we play shooting games. I mean, maybe some kind of first person shooter in VR would be pretty dope. But
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to do Destiny 2 in VR anytime soon? Probably not.
I mean, that's a third person.
Third person, well, yeah,
Well,
but they'd have to make
no,
it
that's
third
first person.
It's
Well,
first
it's
person.
but I'm talking about like when you're in the towns and stuff, it's third person. Which
Yeah.
I mean, there are games that are third person view. One of
That'd
the
be
cool
tricky,
games,
though.
One of the cool games that I want to try really badly is there is a real time strategy game. Game.
Game.
Game.
I love
There's a real-time
games.
strategy
Australia.
game.
I love games.
on VR, it's Brass Tactics,
Yeah.
and you're over like a battlefield, and so is the other player, and you can see the other player, and you're like building your buildings and running around on the map and dropping troops and shit, and it seems to be really cool. So that I'll have to let you guys know how that one goes because I want to play that next. That's my next big experiment.
And I mean, and it sounds awesome. I just think for the money, I'm just not there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, that
It'll
makes
come
sense.
around.
It is. Yeah, it'll get there. Believe me, and I think it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Oh, and
It has to if it's
Yeah.
gonna survive.
and sure,
100%.
and eventually, I'll probably be in that position, but or it'll come down in price, or enough games will be out. If it's always going to be $300 to $500, fine, but there needs to be AAA titles to play, or some really
Yeah, something to
maybe
make it
full
worth
body
it.
tracking, so this way when I'm watching VR porn, I can participate somehow.
There you go.
That's the dream.
Yeah, right. Oh shit. Well, that's pretty cool, Jordan. Though I mean,
Yeah,
maybe I should get back on HTC's mailing list.
you
Get on
definitely
that
fucking
man.
should. You should have never
I'm
left.
gonna do research on the Vive Pro because if that's gonna be, I need to start deciding what second gen console for VR I'm gonna get. Obviously, I'm not gonna get it right away. I'm probably gonna wait a
Honestly, the
long ass
way that
time.
it
But
sounds, yeah, I would definitely go 5 Pro if I could, if I had the PC and everything.
yeah,
Down the line, obviously not right now.
yeah,
But
I'll pay attention to it. But I love my Oculus. It's so good.
yeah,
But yeah,
So
I
now
wanna,
Bryce teased.
yeah, I want to talk about the Iron Giant.
yeah, I'm curious as to why. You mentioned it, but you didn't say why. So I'm very
Yeah,
curious. I loved that movie as a child, so
Well,
I didn't know Vin Diesel was the Iron Giant.
Vin
mhm.
Diesel
Does
was the Iron
everybody?
Giant.
Does like everybody know that?
A fair number of people, Iron Giant fans know it,
Yeah,
but the Iron Giant's one of those movies that kind of has like a, not a cult
it's a
following, but
small
semi
following.
cult following. It's a small following because it's not your classic like Disney animated film. Any animated film that isn't made by one of the major players
Disney
usually
Pixar.
falls, yeah, Disney
Yeah.
Pixar usually kind of falls to the wayside to where
Yeah,
people
it
kind of forget about it. The
wasn't
Iron
a
Giant,
blockbuster movie
yeah, it
by
wasn't.
any
I mean,
means.
it was a great movie.
It
It
was.
should be more revered than it is, in my opinion, because it's a
Agreed.
really good movie.
Yeah.
However, it's really depressing, and it's not just because of what happens in the movie and what's going on, and there's a lot of drama and like family stuff, but also because even though the movie's supposed to have like a semi-happy ending,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. If you actually think about it, because there's two things that I want to bring up. First thing I want to bring up is uh, Hogarth, the main character. He's the little boy.
Hobart Hughes.
He is guaranteed to have cancer
Mm.
pretty soon after that film.
Why?
Because how that Iron Giant, and spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, how it ends at one point the Iron Giant tanks a fucking nuclear blast,
Yes, he does.
and a nut falls out of him and stuff, and he does it all to save humanity in this like weird whole thing, because they're all freaking out because he's a giant alien robot. And so after everything's said and done and the Iron Giant's supposedly gone or whatever, Hogarth is sad, but he finds like a nut, like a giant bolt from the Iron Giant, and he keeps it as a memento of his friend.
Okay.
That metal is highly irradiated. There was a nuclear blast that affected
Direct
it. That's
hit.
why the bolt.
Well,
That's
maybe
why the
not.
bolt was on the ground. No, 100%. What do you mean maybe not?
Well, I
Uh,
mean, he's called the Iron Giant, but he's probably not really iron, right? He's an alien robot, so maybe he was not only able to tank that nuclear blast, but maybe he was able
Vibranium?
to expel or absorb or use
if he absorbed and then, well, one, you haven't seen the film, so
No.
it's one of those things. With what we know about radiation and with what little we know about these materials, this isn't like a super metal because he was able to get a dent in his head.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But essentially, he was able to get a dent in his head. He kind of had like amnesia, and so he was just there on the planet and he didn't know why, and that's how he became friends with Hogarth, as Hogarth found him. But with what we know about radiation in just in terms of our metals, there was in, I think it was in Taiwan.
Mhm.
I want to say there was reused metals of like steel and iron and stuff like that from one of the nuked out areas. They melted it down. This is like decades after the explosion, and they had a massive increase in leukemia and breast cancer. Who the people who lived in those apartments that were made with the reused metal. So this is
Oh,
reused
shit.
and refined metals decades after the
Why would
blast.
they do that?
That still, because they thought that it was safe. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
because they assume that the length of time as well
Had been
as the
enough.
fact that it's been reworked and all that shit. Yeah.
But it didn't, and fucking that's decades later. This is same day he's got that bolt. That's hot as shit. That's going to give him cancer.
And anyone
So
around it, probably.
yeah. So within, I would say, if he doesn't die from radiation poisoning, like within a week,
10 days.
he
at the
will
most.
he will die of cancer within a few years. So that's sad. A little boy dies because he wanted to keep a keepsake of his friend. But the whole reason why the Iron Giant was there, we find out, when he dents his head, he forgets his original mission. But when he gets
Now, how does he
undented,
dent his head?
I think it was on impact.
I think I have seen this.
I can't remember exactly. It's been a while
I
since I've
think
seen
it
it.
is when he landed.
I think it's when he landed. It's when he dented his head, and then his eyes changed color from red to like white, and
Red
he's
to
just looking
white,
around
yeah.
like, huh?
He's like an innocent child.
Yeah, and so he becomes friends with Hogarth, and a lot of the
What
movie is
was
him trying to
the-
hide it from the FBI and like weird stuff. But fucking, so when he gets fixed to a certain degree, he remembers his mission. And there's like a deleted scene, but they hint at it with the original film, but there's also a deleted scene to where it shows like hundreds of these robots punching a planet to death.
What?
Really?
They literally punch the planet to blow it up altogether. So essentially, these aliens are sending these robots out to destroy planets.
So, what was he, like a scout robot?
He was a scout sent ahead. So one, the moment that that scout doesn't report back,
They're on the way.
they're on the way.
Yep.
Or they're sending another scout who didn't get dented and remembers the original mission. Two, at the end of the film, this is kind of like the maybe there's gonna be an Iron Giant 2. The bolt starts to wiggle towards like the wall, and other metal pieces from him that fell to the earth are starting to like travel, and it's implying that he's starting to self-repair, and it turns on and his eyes kind of focus in and stuff. But he's no longer remembering his, like, he no longer forgot his original mission, because he remembers it in the film, and he doesn't want to do it at that point. But for all we know, after he got nuked to shit, he might be on the same team as the aliens now that he's got his mission and we fucking blew him up. He might be like, you know what, Hogarth was cool, I'll keep him as a pet. Everyone else is fucking dead though.
Yeah.
Like
Like
it's-
this one human did me right, but
yeah, so I'll
you
keep
get,
him
the rest of
around.
you
Fuck all the
blew me
others.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of you fucked up. So it's one of those situations where humanity is doomed after that film because there's a technologically superior race that made death bots, and they had
They're
enough
on their way.
resources to make death bots that can blow up planets with their bare fists.
So,
Now
which
it is.
again brings up the question, two questions. One,
What are they made out of?
the dent, and what are they made out of? Because if they can withstand, if they have enough power to cause that much damage on impact, then I still say, how did a nuclear?
Well, the nuke didn't like blow him like to vaporize him. He was just like blown to pieces.
That's what I mean. I just think that's something that advanced. I don't know. I think if aliens came, we're not nuking them.
Oh, we're probably not going to nuke.
We'll
them.
try.
But then again, these are their like
It's
shit.
America.
This is their shit tier robots they just send out. Like, I imagine that they have projectile weapons that can fuck shit up, but maybe it's not like cost effective. Like building 100 death bots is way more cost effective than a Death Star. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
So it's one of those things where when we defeat a death bot, though, they might just be like, you know what? Magnifying glass sun, melt the planet.
I might definitely go with the Death Star if it were me. Just out of
Yeah,
pure
but that's
aesthetic.
because you're a Star Wars nerd and a Star Trek nerd. You like giant spaceships.
I do like giant spaceships. I actually have. Look, there's some spaceships back there behind me right now.
Yeah, for those of you watching the video, you can see that. For those of you listening to the audio, they're cool. You're welcome. That's all you need to know. But yeah, so the Iron Giant pretty much is the prequel to our demise, possibly Independence Day. I haven't really made any connections there, but I was thinking about that now. How it would be interesting if it was somehow connected to Independence Day, and the aliens that come back later are the ones who are just like, we're gonna blow up a bunch of shit because they blew up our robot. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a pretty interesting perspective. And then he obviously self repairs. You know that's
It's
why I
some
think
form of self repair.
I think he's way more advanced than he looks.
100%.
Exterior.
It very well could be that he didn't have access to some of those features because he was damaged to the point to where it gave a robot amnesia. So, like, it's one of those things where some of his functions might have been gone, but the fact that he has this self repair now and it's working means that some of those functions are back, and that's part of the reason why I believe that he
Well,
might be going back to his original programming. So
I
he might
think
be
he would go to his original programming, and here's why: because he is a computer.
right. He
And in
rebooted.
order for a computer to have amnesia, that data would have to have been corrupted or inaccessible. If the
Right.
data is corrupted, then or inaccessible, he would have to switch to a
Reinstall.
backup or reinstall, and that backup or new installation is
Would
not
erase
going
all of his memories
to
with Hogarth.
exactly.
And then
And
at
it's
that point, fuck humanity.
exactly. And so he won't even remember Hogarth being his little
bro.
his little bro. He might, you know what, in a strange fate or twist of fate, first one to die.
Could be.
Just saying.
Though he is in like
Yeah.
the Arctic somewhere. When you find when it cuts to him at the end of the film. So it could be that half the world would die before Hogarth. But
Yeah.
or it could be that America was like, Hogarth was friends with him, go send him. Maybe he'll stop blowing up the city, and Hogarth shows up and then he's just like, fuck that kid.
Like he doesn't even remember him, except for
just
because
melts
it's
him.
a cartoon movie. There'll be like some way that he, by seeing him, initiates the memory or something.
Like the memory was somehow saved to the bolt that Hogarth kept. And then he gives the bolt to the Iron Giant, and then all of his memories come back. And he's like, "Oh my god!"
As he dies from radiation poisoning.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
like
be
they're
surprised.
taking him out of the chemo wing, and that's the real drama of the movie is will this kid survive in an environment like it'll kind
Will he
of like
live
be the
long
boy in the
enough?
plastic bubble. Like, will he live long enough to make it to the robot? Because
To save the rest of the world.
to save the rest of the world, we're going to sacrifice this child.
Dude, I think we just came up with a way better movie.
You know what? I would have to say we did. I would have to say we did.
Yeah, we
We're
need
know
pretty
what?
sick.
sequel.
While watching that movie, we can eat our Gator Duncan.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Let's do it. That's
down.
actually a fantastic idea.
I actually think we should have a cooking day and we make a Gator Duncan.
I do too. I
We get
actually
turtle
think we
from
need to
Chinese
do
market. Probably get gator tail from somewhere. And then a duck we can get from the same Chinese market. Bam. Two things at the same spot.
we can get a duck over here by the lake.
You know what? That's true too.
Seriously.
Fuck those assholes.
Like they are assholes, and all you have to do is look like you might have food, and they're like "Quack, quack, quack, quack,
They just
quack,
start
quack."
waddling up to you with their tails going
Although
crazy.
they are fast, but I've never tried to actually catch one, just kick them. So that might have been TMI. You can't kick them anyway. They're way too fast, and they got bugs on them and shit. In fact, you know what? Maybe we should buy it already cooked
Let's
one.
buy well, not already cooked, but cleaned.
Already
Okay.
clean, defeathered, all that.
I ain't trying to do all
So,
that.
you know what, guys? As I think we're kind of coming to the end here. I'm pretty sure we blew our load. You
Plug
know,
us.
episode 50, as our Jordy, the introducee guy, said today. You know that we're getting real close. Actually, I think we've already crossed a year technically.
No, not yet.
No, when's
March 31st.
the 31st? So on the
31st.
31st is going to be a year for us. What day is the 31st, Jordan?
It is a Saturday.
Saturday.
Ah, okay. So we'll probably be putting together an episode that day. Anyway.
Yeah. Probably.
So hopefully we can try to do something cool. You know, episode 52, obviously we'll try to do something, something super cool. And hopefully I think that if Bryce will do it, you know, we're hoping to maybe Disney cast.
We will see.
That would be cool.
Worst comes to worst, I can talk to one of our mutual friends and see if they can get me in.
Yeah, he will. He already said it.
Okay.
He will,
So yeah, we could probably Disney cast that.
So I think a Disney cast would be cool, and then plus we'll have a guest on that day in the form of our in the form of our homie, and so that would be cool,
Yeah.
That would be cool, actually.
right?
Biting me.
So I mean, you definitely blew my mind with
The Iron Giant. You got to see that movie because it's adorable. But I think
It is a
with
great
that light
movie.
on it, it might be like when you watch it, you'll be like, yeah.
No, I've definitely already seen it. I looked up a picture of the Iron Giant. I've definitely seen this, or I've definitely seen this movie. I just forgot it because bad memory.
True.
The first half we had a little technical difficulty. I'm sorry about that. My fault. Blame Jordan.
Nope.
Sound engineer Jordan, the sound wasn't good. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's your department.
Obviously, your fucking fault.
Hashtag blame
I don't
Jordan.
manage Patrick's fucked up PC.
Fuck
It
you.
sets on fire and smokes and shit.
That was my old one. Thank you.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
I changed it. I changed its guts. Sony guts. But guys, I think essentially what I'm getting to is I think we nailed it.
I think we nailed it too, man.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Recording done.
Recording done.
Exporting.
Yes, please.
More than meets the eye.
All right. Let's go ahead and end this broadcast.
Episode 50. I want insane quality. Fuck out of here with your bullshit.
Insane. In the
brain. What do we want for a photo?
I don't know. I'm gonna stop the broadcast. Thank you everybody for watching. If you do watch it.
Yeah, people do watch. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Shayna.
Yeah, right.